Hello, Chicago. If there is anyone out there who still doubts that America is a place where all things are possible, who still wonders if the dream of our founders is alive in our time, who still questions the power of our democracy, tonight is your answer. To all those who have wondered if America's beacon still burns as bright, tonight we proved once more that the true strength of our nation comes not from the might of our arms or the scale of our wealth, but from the enduring power of our ideals: democracy, liberty, opportunity, and unyielding hope.
I'm not going to introduce nothing. The introduction is going to be in the video. I'm just going to ask y'all the questions, and then I'm edit myself out, and then
they just leave us in here like like some farmers. And you say, "Oh, I don't even know these were some people I met on the street."
Okay.
As a child, I grew up in Mississippi in the early 40s, and we were farmer and sharecropper, which we grew cotton.
And you lived in the Mississippi Delta,
And
right?
I lived in the Mississippi Delta.
See, now you got
Okay,
I mean, go on. You said something about how much you all had to work for it out. Now you...
And we worked for chopping cotton for $3 a day, and we picked cotton for $100 per pound. And for the size of my family, in a week's time, we would earn approximately $27 per week. My father kept a record of all his earnings. He had a thing you call a time book, which he recorded all the cotton that he picked and the earning he made for a week.
Now, actually, at night they would take the cotton to the gin, and the person would actually weigh the cotton, but as a way of keeping up with what it had, his father would actually have his own records also.
Ann Nixon Cooper is 106 years old. She was born just a generation past slavery, a time when there were no cars on the road or planes in the sky, when someone like her couldn't vote for two reasons: because she was a woman and because of the color of her skin. And tonight, I think about all that she's seen throughout her century in America: the heartache and the hope, the struggle and the progress, the times we were told that we can't, and the people who pressed on with that American creed: yes, we can.
Growing up in Mississippi as a childhood, we had certain water fountains we had to drink. They had a white water fountain and a black water fountain. You had to drink from the black water fountain. And also the washroom, they had two different washrooms. One said black, and one said white, and one said color. And also on the bus and train, the black had to go in the back, and if the bus or train got crowded, you had to give up and give your seat up to the white.
And now that's similar to the Rosa Parks experience. If you remember, the Montgomery March began because they had asked Rosa to get up and give her seat to a white person that had boarded the bus, as she refused. And that march, of course, went on for some time.
We came to Mississippi, we came on a train, and the train got so crowded that we had to give up our seat, and we had to sit on our luggage because we had to give our seat to the white. And then if it ran out of seats in that, you had to go sit over in the luggage department where they had the luggage and sit.
America, we have come so far. We have seen so much, but there's so much more to do. So tonight, let us ask ourselves, if our children should live to see the next century, if my daughters should be so lucky to live as long as Ann Nixon Cooper, what change will they see? What progress will we have made?
Our nation has progressed quite a bit, and the racism, of course, still exists. It's just not so overt as it was at that time. If you remember, at the time when Martin Luther King was killed after protesting in Memphis, and then Jesse Jackson led protests here in Chicago. Dr. King actually came here, and of course was threatened and not very well received. Since that time, we have made some progress, but of course racism still exists, not to the degree as it did before. The experience that we had as early as the 1970s when we moved to Oak Park, we had several incidents where our house was vandalized because we were the only blacks in our neighborhood, and only stopped when we had increased police patrols in the 70s, and we've made further progress now that while we live together, we're still separate on some things. It's a little more subtle now than it was in the past.
And those who tell us that we can't, we will respond with that timeless creed that sums up the spirit of a people. Yes, we can.
Now, how many times have you told your kids, guess what? You should learn all you can, cause someday you might grow up to be president. But you didn't have anybody that you could see of our nationality that was already in that position. Now we have a person, there's somebody that already crossed that threshold, and something that should be a source of pride and encouragement to all of those people who figures that they can't make it. There's a person who made it against all odds. When you have a person named Obama and all of the things that happened to him, and yet we made it, and it wasn't just the blacks that voted. We needed the white vote also. So I'm encouraged to think that the races are coming together. It's still going to be a slow process, and I don't know if we'll ever completely do away with it, but at least we can respect and work together for a common goal, for a common good, for all of the people.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can.